Hi, collective. I am doing collective reading. Just trying to get everything ready. And while I do this, lots to talk about. Thank you. We here, baby! Hi guys, welcome. We in a safe space. I'm gonna just go ahead and pre-shuffle. I am using Dancing in the Tarot deck. I'm using 3 different Oracle decks. And I also have my notes here. Collective. This is closing out this cycle. Let's take deep breaths. I have been also taking lots of deep breaths. Much, much needed. I feel that a lot of this is about physical healing is what I'm getting, and also what I had picked up for each sign that I had done, all the readings. The most common theme: physical healing, family matters. This is also having to ground ourselves to have more sustainability. Most common theme for all signs, physical healing. We are doing a lot of awakening, taking on the enlightenment journey. Physical matters as well. What I had also picked up on was a lot of this pressure in the physical body that we're trying to release. Reprogramming. This can also be the reason why there are so many delays at this time. I'm just going to put these up right here. Before I get into this, I want to do a prayer. Get cozy, bro. This is prayer for awareness. And I got this off of a book called The Mastery of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz. And it's on the very back of the book. And let me tell you guys that this is the first thing I do, and what in this new routine that I've been on, it has also helped me heal my thinking patterns, if that makes sense. When we practice on self-affirmations every single day, when we practice on telling ourselves, I am this, I am, it also at the same time reprogramming us at the same time. These are things that is good to implement in our routine. You practice it, you become it. You just are. Every single day when we implement this in our routine, this is also helping us heal at the same time, collective. Let's get into this prayer before we get into the reading. Welcome. Prayer for self-awareness. Today, Creator of the universe, we ask that you open our heart, open our eyes so we can enjoy all of your creations and live in eternal love with you. Help us to see you in everything we perceive with our eyes, with our ears, with our heart, with all of our senses. Let us perceive with eyes of love so that we find you wherever we go and see you in everything you create. The Three of Pentacles came out first. Let us see you in every cell of our body and every emotion of our mind. In every dream and every flower and every person we meet. You cannot hide from us because you are everywhere and we are one with you. Let us be aware of this truth. Let us be aware of our power to create a dream of heaven where everything is possible. Help us to use our imagination to guide the dream of our life, the magic of our creation, so we can live without fear, without anger, without jealousy, without envy. Help us to use our imagination to guide the dream of our life, the magic of our creation, so we can live without fear, without anger, without jealousy, without envy. Give us a light to follow, and let today be the day that our search for love and happiness is over. We've got some really positive cards here that came out. Today, let something extraordinary happen that will change our life forever. Let everything we do and say be an expression of the beauty in our heart, always based on love. Help us to be the way you are, to love the way you love, to share the way you share, to create a masterpiece of beauty and love. The same way that all of your creations are masterpieces of beauty and love. Beginning today and gradually over time, help us to increase the power of our love spirit so that we may create a masterpiece of art, our own life. Today, Creator, we give you all of our gratitude and love because you have given us life. Namaste. Our consciousness, I feel, is expanding. Our emotions, our expressions, our feelings are all coming up. These are things that perhaps need our attention at this time. A lot of having to heal the physical body. And I do feel that as we, first of all, open up to having to heal. And I do believe that when we take on this self-love journey, this, having to have more of a understanding of who you are, the struggles that you have been experiencing, the pain also that we have been experiencing as a collective as well. And having to also maybe at this time healing from episodes, depression, anxiety, all of these things, mental illness, it's all really having to understand where this is all leading us. But most importantly is having us release this out of our system. Because when we do this, things clear up. There's so much more in our awareness. And when we are in our awareness, we are able to have better conversations. We're able to know who we are, most importantly, in the crowd, certain groups, communications, how our family perceive us, how our friends perceive us, how we perceive ourselves. This is all leading us to a better, more expanded place. And it may not, for some of us, I feel that we are having to go against the current here. We are having to go against our inner power. And sometimes in having to take on the healing journey, it does require of us to really get real and rooted in all of it. And that perhaps maybe some of us are going through a lot of trauma bonds and what this relationship is bringing to us, but not really benefiting us also at the same time. And that too we're having to get rid of. 7 of Swords. It's not working out anymore. And it's not to be forced anymore. You know, when your intuition and your body, your physical body tells you, you know, my body can only take in so much. And it too can also take in so much of what other people's opinions say about me, or other people's opinions about me, or it's time that I get rooted in myself and knowing myself and tuning out what is not you. Moving into expansion, releasing a great amount of pain. While I was meditating on our energy, I too am also having to release a whole lot. And I feel that at this time I have had trouble in communicating, socializing. I've been so stubborn, and there's just so much shadow work for me also. And to be quite honest, like having to do this and reading for all signs, you know, this too heals a big part of myself. Releasing a great amount of pain. This is why we are having to ground a lot. And let me tell you, when I picked up on a collective's energy and having to close out this cycle, you guys, this has a lot to do with sustainability. Really getting rooted in our source, right? And not what society might want us to do, or what our job wants us, or forcing us, or even pushing us to do. It's having to really follow our inner system and go with that and trust in that. I too am having to trust in myself. And when we are releasing, taking a pause, taking a breather, always giving ourselves gratitude and appreciation for ourselves and everything that we've done. This is so important. When we talk to ourselves in a positive note, let's say when you wake up in the morning and you're in front of the mirror, you're brushing your teeth, you're washing your face, you know, take time to appreciate the person in front of you, you know, because this too helps reprogram our thinking. It helps reprogram our behaviors. This is also a form of self-affirmation and having to talk to ourselves. It's like a little meeting that you're having with yourself, right? This is so important because it reprograms our system. And then that also, when we are willing to do that, our body corrects itself. And this amazing thing that happens is that our frequency goes up. And you also having to radiate that out, right? We are having to influence a very positive, putting out a positive influence out into our collective. I do also feel like we are struggling so much in all of this because there are a lot of adjustments. There are a lot of big changes, you know, and not just changes on the external, but changes in our inner world, our mind. And this all kind of shifts, you know, when every season is new, every season we go through different shifts in our inner world. Every season brings a whole new vibe. And having us also understand where this is coming from. And for some of us, this trauma body that we have been carrying, this is hard for us. This is rooted from like a really deep, scarred place. And at this time, there may be a lot of delays because of the fact that we are having to also sit with these emotions. You know, we can't just change things and without having to do shadow work. You know, we can't be saying, oh yeah, I've been working on myself, I've been healing, but not really showing it. It's not really showing in the way you speak, in the way you talk, in the way you talk about yourself. You know, this shows this shows because this is like an inner joy, inner happiness. And it just shows in a person, you know, when somebody just walks into your room and automatically you feel their aura. You know, you can tell by someone's aura that they too have been willing to release and heal properly in a healthy way. Releasing, stop, pause, know where we are. Collective, also what I had picked up, it's time to perhaps maybe getting into plan B. We always got to have plan B. Always. Never know what's going to happen. Never know what's going to happen. You know, things could be taken away from us. I mean, we went through, 2 years of lockdown? You know what I mean? Things like that can happen again. And when we are not emotionally stable, these things can get to us easily. And that's not what we want to happen, collective. We want to be prepared. We want to have plan B. If things come again, if uncertainty comes, you know, this is like having a power outage. What do? You have something prepared, right? You got plan B. It's just like that, bro. We got to load our car with emergency backpacks. You know what I'm saying? Like that kinds of stuff. Preparing for everything. Collecting all canned goods. Collecting, you know, this is more of like a sustainable, healthy, well-being. These things could be taken away from us. We don't even know. Take it as it resonates. Without the materials, who are we? Without the things, who are we? What are we contributing? What are we doing for ourselves? Are we keeping our emotions at a level where we are also able to see it and understand and learn from it and grow from it. And also being very accepting as well, is what I'm picking up. We are a lot stronger, a lot more brave, courageous when we're aware. You know, when we are just simply being ourselves, when we are simply rooted in ourselves, it's a lot easier to just go by. It's a lot easier to go in our flow. And it's not something that we pick up on the external. You know, this is a very unique place within our world that we follow. A question to reflect on. Is it more important to be right or to maintain peace? We could also be dealing a lot with energies that we're surrounded with that is making us question ourselves. I don't know, take this as it resonates. I'm picking up on this. You know, this can also be family matters. You know, a lot of disagreements within the circle. When we choose, sometimes when we choose ourselves, either we have people around us who's rooting for us, or they're not. The part that we have to put our attention on is the work that we're putting on ourselves. Because when we do work on ourselves, we're also helping others around us. And even more, like, I just use the word like. Oh my gosh. I try not to say the word like, yo. Dang. I really don't talk like that though. Sometimes. I could be really goofy here, okay? Just go with it. Shit. You know, but I feel like this is a very positive read. But we're not allowing ourselves to actually really feel this. This is having to also get grounded in the present moment. And there may also be a lot of resisting and having to hold back on a lot of things because there are a lot of things coming up from the past. And it's kind of hard for us to stay still when all those things are coming up. It could be why we're having so much pressure in our body, when we're not moving our body often. When we forget, sometimes we get too busy at work, you know, we end up just being in survival mode, this autopilot mode, you know? And we forget that our body picks up on other energies on the external. You know, when we go to work, sometimes we don't realize how much of that we take home. And that when we don't take the necessary steps as, I suppose, meditate, pray, cleansing, purifying, all these things, you know, this very much can stay in the system for as long as it can, you know, until you feel it, until you've realized this has been in my system and I haven't been really putting my awareness on this. Wherever this pressure is coming from, wherever this tension is coming from, wherever this fear or this doubt or this, a lot of fear. A lot of fear. Sometimes even our own light scares us, bro. You know? But let's think about it this way. Would we rather stay in depression? Would we rather stay and keep spiraling down? Or do we want to, you know, be greater than our pain? And I think that's why it's so important to have all of these positive affirmations that we can practice on every single day, because that makes a big difference in having to reprogram ourselves. You know, there is a delay on commitment. There's a delay on finance. This is a lot of energy on enterprise as well, is what I'm getting here. Yo, you guys, drink some water. I don't have any weed right now, dude. I really wish I did. But you know what? I think, honestly, weed is essential to me. This body needs it as much, you know? If you understand me, bro, that's awesome. And if you don't, I'm sorry, man. But this body needs what it needs, and that's very essential to me. And it's been like, what, 2 days? Man, that's a long time. But me being 100% sober, it's cool, I guess. It just feels weird. Some affirmations here. I'm using, what is this called? Meditations and Affirmations deck. I am infinite potential. When you are tempted to control your mind, stand back and realize that the task is impossible to begin with. Even the most disciplined mind has a way of breaking out of its chains. You know how I was saying that our body has this way of having to correct itself when we take the necessary steps, and having to overcome a lot of the pressures and pain and depression and battle with the mind. I gotta say that. Battle with our body. Shit, and how much we take on a daily, and we don't even fucking realize how much this body is picking up, you know, whatever it is that's going on the outside. It doesn't help the collective. It only depletes our collective's frequency, I must say. I haven't really been showing you guys the cards. I got the Two of Cups. I'll show you guys. Two of Cups. This also came out earlier, the Death card. Changes. Also, this could mean relocation. Changes in what we are feeling in the body. Changes in at work, at home, whatever this may be for you, a certain situation, maybe a specific individual that we're having to work something with, but it's just not happening no more. So just like fucking get rid of it. We have the Judgment. This speaks a whole lot about having to speak ourselves, our truth. because this too also helps heal the physical body when we're very expressive with our emotions and feelings, and we're letting it out in the time that we need to, and really having to be honest with our emotions and feelings. This too helps raise our collective's consciousness. Thank you, Spirit. Dang! Surrendering. This is also one of the affirmations I picked up. Surrendering in battle. Why does it just say, I just said my battle with the mind, right? Surrendering in battle happens once at the very end. Surrendering on a spiritual path happens over and over, and it never ends. It's a circle. Your whole body is a holistic, dynamic process in support of being alive. I did mention earlier about going into a path of enlightenment, right? I see you. In this new cycle we are in, this new cycle that we're about to go in, ending this cycle. Collective, we are demanding the following, and I have a list here. Changes. Abso-freaking-lutely changes. This is changes at home. This is changing our environment. This is rearranging our room, living room, kitchen, bathroom. This is rearranging what's going on, decluttering our mind, what's going on in the mind. We are changing, paying more attention to our behaviors, paying more attention on how we approach things and people. Changes in our wardrobe, changes in our looks. This is coming into a new. This is having to appreciate everything that you've collected, whatever that means for you, and then stepping out, looking good, feeling more. Okay? Consciousness, bro. Sustainability. Long-term commitments. A more healthy, I want to show you guys. Security, 10 of Cups, 3 of Pentacles. This is your efforts and dedications rising to the occasion, baby. Hey. Do you know the times when you pray and you meditate and you ask and ask and ask and ask? Everything comes at a time when it does, because you did something great for yourself. For yourself, collective. Because you did something. Not them, not him. Not this fucker. Not this bitch. You know what I'm saying? It's you doing it for you. And is one that's going to keep you on a path that is promising. 3 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups. I do cuss a lot. Sorry if that offended you. But isn't this a fucking great read, bro? I'm just kidding. Security. Again, 10 of Cups. Very promising. Security in terms of your financial stability, our financial stability. Security in relationship, partnership, love and romance, your relationship with your family, relationship with mom and dad, relationship with siblings, relationship with aunt, uncle, cousins, relationship with your dog. Huh, Opie? In this new cycle, collective, we are also having to demand a strong spiritual practice. And I love that I picked that up because that's something that we need to cultivate more often. Does that make sense? Strong spiritual practice. This is a new culture that's arising, you know. I do believe also when I started picking up on tarot a lot more and reading up on it, like literally every day, I knew that this journey for me started in 2018, you know, really having to ground myself in my own body and not listening to what other people want me to be anymore. 2018 was like the catalyst, bro. This 2018 for me was like ending pain, the abuse, you know. These are things that I was feeling at the time, and this was also around the time when I was taking prescriptions. I was diagnosed with bipolar, anxiety, depression, you know, all those things. And I really hit rock bottom. And from then on, I've been on this natural healing journey. And it was one that I had to make a decision on. You know, I didn't want to depend on these pills anymore. I didn't want to depend on anybody anymore. If I really wanted to do this, I knew I needed to do this head on and on my own. And it wasn't something easy that I had to take on. You know, these things take time. You know what I'm saying? It's just having to really follow your inner system. And that's what I chose to do, because it was the only choice I knew that was going to give me a healthy future. And let me tell you, if you are one struggling with depression and anxiety, and you are one diagnosed with bipolar, okay, let's just say, you know, you're having a lot of thoughts, you're having a racing mind, racing heart, you can't sleep at night, you're having insomnia, understandable, you know. And I think that, and having to heal all of that naturally, it really comes down to you having to make that choice. And it's not a choice made for you. It's not a choice either that is forced on you. It's not a choice that, you know, someone had told you this is what you should do. No. You should probably stay away from people that way, like that. Because they too are holding you back from being exactly who you are, perhaps. And this is having to cultivate a strong spiritual practice. You noticed, just by saying that, I want to share with you guys something. When I would tell my past to my friends, my family and things, before it would hit me and I'd start crying and my mind start to like fog up a little bit. And I would feel my heart racing and getting warm, my body getting warm, my ears getting warm. But now it's like more liberating because it's something that I know I'm not alone at. You know, for the longest time, when I was going through depression and anxiety and all these things, I knew I couldn't talk to anybody about it. This is something that I knew I had to keep for myself, to myself, because it was sacred. Because I knew then that if I were to share, I wanted it to be appreciated. I wanted it to be heard and seen, you know, and not be gaslighted about it, and not be just trying to like avoid responses like, oh, you'll be fine. You know, when you get that shit, you'll be fine, dude. You'll be fine. I just wanted someone to sit and listen, and like really fucking listen. You know, listening is a skill, bro. It doesn't just like you listen to the body language, you listen to the words, you listen. There's resonance in that. There's resonance in our truth. Do you know what I mean by this? There's resonance in our truth. When you hear someone speak about their truth, you know it's genuine. You know what I mean? And I felt that I couldn't speak about it to anybody because it was one too that I was still trying to understand myself. And I kept that in for so long. I've had to cultivate self-awareness, and how much of that, all that work, the shadow work that I had to do, man, bro, it's like a never-ending thing. But that too helped me become the person that I wanted to be, and not the person that everybody wanted me to be. You know what I mean? And while during this time, I was struggling a lot with my physical body. I did not know where I was with my physical body. You know, there was a lot to heal, and I knew there was a lot to heal from. And so I'm having to take on and choosing and being willing to take on a more natural healing journey. It gives you so much more. And it was one too that I was resisting for a long time because I too was scared of myself. I don't know where the fuck I was going. I was scared of the unknown. But I had to trust something. And it was either trusting what everybody else was telling me to do or trust my own self. And even that I've had to build and cultivate as well. You know, it's just like when we are willing and choosing to heal and choosing to, you know, be more for yourself, it takes you to places that you never thought you can have. More, even more bigger and better and bountiful, fruitful. We just never know. We never know because we never open up to it. I remember having TMJ. I felt at the time, I didn't recognize where that came from. I didn't know where that came from, but I think that came from like what I had thought. I was just going around thinking like I am smiling, but I really wasn't. You know, depression just gets to you. Depression is like, it gets to a point where you are just completely numb, like a zombie. No emotions, no feelings. Completely in shock. Or at least your body, right? And your brain's just like frozen. Like you're just there and you're not moving, you're not doing shit. You're not interested in doing anything. You're not awake to do anything. You're not interested to do any activities that even what you love to do. Your body just does not have that capacity to even fathom, right? To understand. And that too, you had to build yourself up to, you know? And I don't even know where I was going with this, bro. Dang! TMJ. How the body corrects itself when we are doing the essential things like speaking out, reciting positive affirmations. What I used to do to help bring my spirits up, I would go around, and I didn't have a car. I remember it was around the time I didn't have a car. I was completely fucking broke. I lost my job, lost my car. I had just gotten out of a relationship, and it was a relationship that did not serve both of us. And that just did not, it was good until it wasn't anymore. And at that time, I knew that my depression got worse. And all of that stress stuck in my system, stuck in my body, it really got to me. And all these emotions and feelings just decluttered. It was messy. And I go back to that because that is that's where I started. You know what I mean? And in having to choose to keep my spirits up, doing these positive affirmations, telling myself I am strong, I am courageous, I am confident, worthy, strong, beautiful, amazing, all of those things. When I got to the I am phase, things just started switching up for me. And it didn't come fast. These things don't come to you. You don't feel good, after you meditate once. You know what I mean? It takes quite some time. But it is also very promising because you are having to tend and watering and nurturing yourself. And as you do this, you rise to the occasion. You rise and you come back up and you're not a zombie anymore. You're even more now, even more knowledgeable of yourself because of the experience that you had. You know what I mean? It humbles you. It really does ground you and it humbles you. All of that physical pressure and that tension, it was having to get rid of that out of the system, and then going into having to know your emotions and your feelings and whatever comes up. We all carry a very unique body. Our machine is what I call this. Our lean me machine. Dang. For so long, I've forgotten what it was like to be myself. And it was that of me having to give too much. Either I was giving too much, either I was putting all of my power and energy onto other people that didn't even really have my best interest at heart, to be honest. And you know who the fuck you are. You know what I mean? There was so much pressure on my stomach, my neck, my lower back. And I'm sharing this because starting tarot and having to choose to start this, it led me here. It led me here because I did something. And eventually, for everybody, let me just say, eventually, for every single person, it takes time. For everybody, eventually, you get there. And having to be rooted in your self-awareness, and that's what's most important. You know what I mean? Because you're also helping us in the collective. You're sharing your thoughts, your stories, your feelings, your emotions. And when we do this, we inspire one another. We help we help raise our spirit. I want to also add, collective, it's important to, let's say, for example, we have trouble having to understand our emotions and our feelings, and they're just all over the place, and there's just no way, you feel like there's just no way in having to manage all of this at once, right? And having to manage it in the moment. Also, that's what I picked up. Staying present, we're resisting a lot. Because having to stay in the present moment is hard when all these emotions come up. And I feel that it is also important not just to also look into our sun sign, but to also look into our moon sign, our rising sign, and our Venus sign. Because this will help us understand better about our personality. Our sun sign is just as important as our moon and rising sign. So when we are on a path to healing, if you are one on a path to healing, if you are one on a path to enlightenment, these are things to look into, something to recommend. I am shuffling our meditation and affirmation deck. You were made for giving. Let's say, for example, we are feeling incomplete. This too helps by giving to others, by doing nice for someone or complimenting someone. Is just simple as having to compliment someone. This too helps raise your frequency. I will give my loved ones as much of my undivided time today as they want. Giving to someone who's in need of support, a friend, a family member, someone very close to you, you know. These things also help raise our frequency when we are giving. When we're feeling depressed, giving also helps you feel wholesome about yourself. And that when we do this all the time, you just become it. It becomes a habit, you know. I believe it when you develop a habit, it takes about 20 days? Is that what it is? To actually get rooted intact with that habit, and then you just do it without even having to think about it. I am looking at the world with knowingness and peace. I'm getting a lot of affirmations here, and I love these images. I also want to get into the Empath Empowerment deck and the Star Temple Oracle here. You guys, this is a lot to do with consciousness and just being in consciousness and rooted in your self-awareness, because that too will help a whole lot. We don't even know unless we try, right? My armpits always be sweating when I do readings. And my stomach too makes sounds. So weird. I also would like to add collective. The reason why it's so important to also check our sun and moon and rising sign is because we do carry multiple personalities in us. Perhaps all of us is bipolar, bro. Either one or two. I don't know. Pick. Shit. And this too will come in handy when we are having a lot of emotions and feelings and we want to just get to the root of the problem. And sometimes when you go to the doctor, they don't really give you a very genuine, specific solution. For people who don't have insurance, something's got to give. Some alternatives, even more natural alternatives will help in having to stabilize our moods and not just having to label it names like bipolar and shit. What the fuck? Because as a human being in this machine that you live in your very unique machine, Yeah, you carry a multiple personalities. You can't just be one every day. You know what I mean? But because you're more than one, what, we're gonna label you things? Bro. You're a magnificent creature with... You come in layers. We come in layers, you know? Every day is a new thing. Every day something comes up. Every day we learn something new about ourselves. We learn something new about other people. It's a way of having to understand evolution, understand also the revolution that's going on in our body. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean, bro? Ask a dream for guidance. Dreams offer wisdom beyond logic. Tonight, ask a question before bed. In the morning, write down a dream and look for the answer. If you are one who is interested in dreams and what your dreams have to say about you at this time, or just, you know, this too helps. You know, when we're feeling down, the only thing to do is sleep. It's probably the best thing to do. Sleep, bro. Just fucking take a nap. I love naps. I love afternoon naps, bro. When we're feeling, again, incomplete, when we're not so much in tune with our intuition, or it's just out of balance, sleep is the answer sometimes. Because that's, I guess, your body sending you signals. Yo, man, I'm tired. I hope that you identify yourself. Honor your inner child. I love this card. And I love this picture. You ready? It looks more like an Asian kid, bro. DJ Franzen is on, bro. Every time DJ Franzen's on on Twitch, it's a vibe. Focus on your inner child's needs. Is your inner child afraid or in need of more playtime? Play, 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 play. I said that a lot in the Aquarius reading. Life is nothing but a play. Cherish this precious being within you. Remember to come back to it often, especially during this time of uncertainty, sadness, and having to also do a lot of healing and grieving. Remember who you are, because this will help keep things at ease. Do you know what I mean by this? Cool. I'm going to pull up another one. Okay. Collective, we're having disagreements or what? Disagreements with a family member? Disagreements at work? Tame negative thinking. When negative thoughts arise, experience the feelings behind them, and then shift to a larger, more compassionate perspective. This is what I feel from experience also. Meditation helps. Let's say that we are stuck in a thought. For example, we're stuck in a thought, we're stuck in an emotion, and it's something that we just cannot unsee, we cannot declutter, we are able to set things straight and aligned. Meditation helps, expands that space, you know what I mean? And it opens us up to different perspectives. And that a negative thought sometimes is not even true. You know, sometimes we create stories in our mind as just this negative inner dialogue that we possess. You know what I mean? Having to get out of that cycle. Meditation helps. Being in nature, walking, going for a run, you know, take advantage of this. Thank you, Spirit. Let's get into the Star Temple Oracle. And thank you for being so patient with me, collective. Yo, drink some water. Have a banana, I didn't even eat it. I'm gonna go ahead and shuffle. I just want to make sure also that I have gotten through all of our notes here. And having to know our sun, moon, and rising, collective. Our rising is, I believe, how we show up for the world and the energy we radiate and how people perceive us, how we show up for people. That is what our rising sign is indicating. As far as our moon sign, this is indicating our deep emotions, our connection to our emotions. I'm sorry, excuse me. When I think of moon, I think of Cancer. Cancers are moon aliens. And as far as our sun sign, indicating our how we are, who we are. And how people see us, how people perceive us. Thank you, Spirit. Delays in love and romance, big changes. This too may be requiring you to heal a bigger part of you, and maybe that is why we're having a lot of delays here. Take it as it resonates, collective. Electra, the Awakener, rise. Out of the ashes, I rise like the golden sun. I don't know if you guys can see that well. I just love the pictures. The mirror, reflect. I hold the mirror up to see, accept, and love all of me. Consciousness, awareness. Let's pull up another one. Self-accepting. Releasing. The Sun Goddess. Lift off. I open my senses to feel delicious pleasure and passion. What could be coming up for us too in this season, Libra season? Coming back to what we're very passionate about and doing those things and taking action. Collective. And I also want to read for each card here. Let's start with the Awakener, Electra. Chakra, solar plexus. Archetype, the Awakener. The Awakener archetype activates spiritual growth and balance via the feminine influences of sorrow and vulnerability. After the storm comes the stillness, as the Awakener Electra triggers spiritual awakening and collective ascension. Her tears awaken humanity with compassion, empathy, and kindness for eternity. Electra initiates profound soul learning by encouraging you to dive deep into the shadow to release limiting beliefs, past hurts, and embedded grief. Embrace the lessons and blessings with gratitude and self-compassion. The sacred doorway to this deep spiritual awakening is the solar plexus chakra, the Electra card. I feel more like I'm resonating with this card. Oh my God. Jesus, my cards are alive. Reflect. Let's get into this one. Sorry guys, bear with me. Merope. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Merope? Okay. No. Reflect, reflect, reflect. The mirror. I hold the mirror up to see, accept, and love all of me. What is that song by John Legend? Me, loves all of you. All your curves and all perfection. Give your all to me. I give my all to you. That one. Okay, wait a minute. True self-love transpires when you can take a hard, deep look at yourself and learn to love your light and dark aspects. Ooh, another thing I need to add, collective. This is also having to work on our shadow. And we're struggling on that. We're struggling. There are a lot of mental blockages. There are a lot of tensions in the physical body that's not letting us get into this rooted place of compassion, self-compassion. Shadow work, bro. Deep look at yourself and learn to love your light and dark aspects, both light and dark, being accepting of your dark as well, because this too will help raise our frequency. Our duality creates sacred balance within. Integrate your shadow for transformative illumination. Authenticity is your unique light in the world. Honor your authenticity and do not let anybody tell you you're not. So sparkle with self-assurance and self-compassion. I love it. The last one. How do you, Alsani. Sorry, I'm pronouncing all this wrong. I open my senses to delicious pleasure and passion. Let's get into this one. I open my senses to, I just read that. Ventures that you begin now are blessed with abundance and success. The planning you do personally and spiritually will bring miraculous change to your life. Enjoy the journey and celebrate the wins along the way with gratitude. Some keywords: start, change, play. What I say about change and play, a lot of that happening. Changes. Tending to our shadow, opening up to our shadow. This isn't easy work, collective, but it is one that we got to start. You know, when uncertainty comes, when time comes of uncertainty, who do we depend on? Not others. I mean, they will be there. But when time comes of when you having to just really trust in yourself, you are more than willing, more than capable also. Abso-freaking-lutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. And this is why we're having to release a great amount of that pain. A great amount of that pain comes from our shadow that we're not tending to, perhaps. And this is why, what may be causing some delays also. I have the Hermit. Ooh, I love this so much. It's giving me so much good energy. Hermit, man. As I'm saying, shadow. This is time to get into that. Your solitude, getting into your embracing your own presence, and loving being in your presence. Okay, collective. Ace of Wands. As we move through having to heal all of this shadow work, changes and all of these things, family matters, and having to express also a whole lot of your pain. And expressing a lot of what you don't typically express is going to give you so much more. Ace of Wands is asking us to be more passionate and expressing our passions. Perhaps maybe taking on and having to take actions and letting this part of us flourish even more. I love that. Thank you. The Queen of Pentacles. This card reminds me of the sign of Aries. Not just, taking actions in our passions and letting that part of us flourish, but also what gives us, what will give back to that is to come. Thank you, Spirit. Last but not least, we have the Fool card. Sometimes you gotta fake it to make it. And it gets to a point where we start to understand a deeper part of us that has been hidden for so long. I get that. That was an amazing read, collective. Thank you. Thank you for letting me do that. And thank you for always being supportive and showing so much love and support. When I started this channel, I, always having to just go with the flow and letting things just unfold in the time that it does. And it took me so long, quite some time, to put up this channel. It is one also that I have been keeping to myself. And sometimes you just got to move in silence and let things flourish, let things unfold, and for you to enjoy. It's something that you got to enjoy first, and then you get to share. Thank you for letting me do this reading, and tune in to our next collective reading. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you in the next reading. Bye.